Hi, heroes. Hope you're having a magical day. I just wanted to share with you the first of the 5 practices I have for how to dream like Walt Disney to set your 2024 resolutions. And the first of the 5 practices, it's DREAM. So D is dare to delight yourself. And so Walt Disney was an expert at delighting his guests and himself, and it was one of his secrets to success, as far as I'm concerned. There's a story in How to Be Like Walt that Pat Williams tells that's about how Disney, in the early days of Disneyland, he wanted to offer this extravagant Christmas parade. He had all these amazing ideas, of course. Um, and the accountants in the company came to him and said, nobody's expecting this. We don't need to do this. We don't need to spend the money on this. And he said, that's exactly why we need to do this, because nobody is expecting it. And to me, when I experience delight, that is the root of it, is like, this is more than I can expect. That's the delight that I feel. I have done my mind work when I go to Disneyland, which is my fandom. That's what I'm thinking. That's helping me feel that delight, is this is more than I can expect everywhere, right? The company does that. That's a value of the company to this day. When I worked at the parks, I learned how to surprise and delight people, because the company recognized, after Walt, the company recognized that that was one of his secrets to success for his company, was creating this more than I can expect delight for people. So I have a secret for you. You do not have to engage with your fandom, whether it's Disney or not, to feel this amazing emotion of delight. My secret for you is that delight, emotion, all emotion comes from our thoughts. So as I said, I've done the mind management work to discover that for me, when I'm engaging with my fandom, when I'm in Disneyland, what's creating delight for me is this thought, this is more than I can expect. It's what Walt tapped into, right? This is how Walt created it for all the people who come to his park. So it might be the same for you. That delight comes from this is more than I can expect. And we can use this thought and this emotion to dream up big things for 2024 in our everyday life, for anything. But right now, I'm focusing it on your 2024 New Year's resolutions. So the practice is dare to delight, because sometimes it's scary to give ourselves more than we can expect, right? And we can use the same concept, that all emotion comes from thoughts, to generate the feeling of daring for ourselves. And daring is all about doing something even though you're scared, doing it anyway, even though you're scared. So you might find that when you start to dream up something delightful for yourself for 2024, that you feel scared because it's really big. More than you can expect is big, right? You might start to feel scared because your mind, because again, there's a thought behind that. And you can do the work. We can do the work together. You can do it to just kind of notice, like, oh, my brain is telling me like that's not possible or something. So I'm feeling doubt, or I'm feeling scared. I want you to generate that feeling of daring to continue to try to delight yourself. Do it anyway, even though you're scared, just to see what you come up with. Walt Disney was all about pushing the limits of imagination for himself and for the people who worked for him and for the people who came to his parks. And that's what we're tapping into in these How to Dream Like Walt Disney, to set your New Year's resolutions 2024, is to come up with something that you didn't even think prior that you could do, and then to show yourself that you can do it. And we'll get more into that in the other practices. But right now, for this practice, dare to delight yourself, I want you to tap into that delight, use your fandom. So think of the last time you felt delight. What did it feel like? What were you doing? Were you engaging with your fandom of Disney? Were you engaging with a different fandom? When you're engaging with that fandom and you're feeling that emotion of delight, that amazing emotion, what were you thinking? Okay, what was the thought? And as I mentioned, for me, it was, this is more than I can expect. And so now use that sentence, this is more than I can expect, use that emotion to start to think about December 31st, 2024. What would be more than you can expect? What would generate that emotion of delight for you? What would cause you to have that thought? If you're sitting wherever or standing, December 31st, 2024, what would generate that thought for you? This is more than I can expect. And what would cause that feeling of delight for you? And again, you're going to need that daring, because as soon as your mind is like, oh, that would delight me, like, okay, for me, it's I really want to do the Disneyland have marathon in the beginning of 2025. There's a whole like how do you even sign up? How do you even get on the list to sign up, right? They go so fast. So I've got to figure out so many things. I get migraines when I run now. Like I used to love to run. I used to run like races, but now I get migraines. So there's a lot I need to do to get to that place. There's a lot of like fear and doubt that comes up when I do that. And I want to be in an Airbnb that we have, and we don't have that yet. So near the parks. So that's my, December 31st, 2024. I want to be sitting, I want to be in my Airbnb, I want to be training for that marathon. Like that's delight, right? That's more than I could expect. That's amazing. That would be amazing. That's like, I just get giddy thinking about it. Of course, my mind is offering me like, that's never going to happen. That's too much. You're crazy. All these things. But you dare to go past that, because there's no way Disney could have come up with his amazing ideas without pushing past the limits of what he thought was possible, and continuing to go after it. So that's this first practice. Dare to delight yourself for 2024. What's your December 31st, 2024 circumstance that you can imagine for that day that would lead you to think your thought that causes delight for you? And please, if you want coaching around this practice, please reach out to me. I'd love to coach you. And I'll be sharing the rest of the practices over the coming weeks as we get closer to 2024. And please share in the comments if you've thought of something or what you come up with when you dare to delight yourself for December 31st, 2024. Okay, thank you.